Hey, what is going on, crypto people? Happy Monday to each and every one of you. What the world is Bitcoin a misdirection play? Have you been hoodwinked, bamboozled? We're going to get into that. Is Bitcoin a misdirection play? Look, should we hop on Clearpool and SparkDex and do a little Flare FLR tokens for some USDX? And should we do that? Should we tune into our guy's YouTube channel? We need to go hang out there. Steve for Real Estate and Crypto's YouTube channel. You go hang out there and support that dude. Support the dude, support him. Let's grow his channel some. Maybe we'll do a little stuff on SparkDex and Clearpool if you're not in the United States. maybe we'll do a little something over there as well. Ashley Proper is reminding some people that prosper. New president can kick Gary Gensler to the curb for dereliction of duty, and clearly he has derelicted his duties. He got freaking Celsius happened on his watch. Terra Luna happened on his watch. FTX happened on his watch. BlockFi happened on Gary Gensler's watch. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you don't have to go to Congress to get rid of Gare Bear. Pretty sure about that, Wrath Economan. You don't have to go to Congress to get that done. Bitcoin is a misdirection play. We're going to get into this today. Hopefully, we'll clear some stuff up. Hopefully, we'll clear some stuff up. Peter Schiff is saying, more dumb and ignorant things just every day. What's going on? Legendary, can you help Peter Schiff out? Like what is he talking about? What is Peter Schiff talking about? Hopefully remind me to get to Peter Schiff. Hopefully remind me to get to Peter Schiff and to get to Steve for Real Estate and Crypto YouTube channel. Please, guys, remind me to do that, because otherwise I'll go on this Bitcoin as a misdirection play for hours. For hours. All right, so look, Bitcoin apparently hit $70,000 today, guys. What's going on with that? What's going on with that? Legendary says, head. That's Peter Schiff. Like, Peter Schiff, man. Unbelievable. That dude. Dude. Just own up to it, bro. Just own up to it. This constant fight. It's just brutal. It is absolutely brutal. It is really, really brutal. So I heard that Bitcoin hit $70,000 today. At least I got a notification that it hit 70K. So, market is doing what it does. It's back down to 67,000, just like that. Within a couple hours. Back down to 67,000. I will tell you what is a misdirection play. A misdirection play is concerning yourself about the volatility of Bitcoin. That is a misdirection. That's a misdirection. So we're going to get into some stuff today. Again, happy Monday to each and every one of yous. I appreciate you guys checking in on a Monday morning. Let's get into some stuff real quick. We'll go over the market. Since you guys said you can stomach it, I'll cover the numbers for you according to CoinGecko, and we'll get into it. Let's see here. Do a little share. Legendary and Gary, I appreciate you guys checking in for sure. I know more people are going to check in. I put a notification out there because I did a post kind of letting people know that we're going live. I've been doing these posts lately because a lot of people are saying they're just not getting the notifications. Also, I found out today as well that Google is doing a little shadow banning, or doing major shadow banning of the word Trump. I would imagine the person, name, image, and likeness of Trump as well. You know who owns YouTube. So it probably wasn't a good idea for me to put Trump on my, what is it called? On my thumbnail of my video. Probably not a good idea. I didn't know that they were doing that, but found out that Google is, in fact, doing that. Something to be said about Googles and the Amazons and the Apples of the world. It's the 21st century cartel, if you're paying attention. It's the 21st century cartel going over there. All right, so let's go over to CoinGecko. All right, let's see what's going on at CoinGecko. I'm going to refresh it again just to make sure the numbers are good. There it is. According to CoinGecko, the total cryptocurrency market cap is up 0.5% at 2.54 trillion. We were just at 2.54 trillion just not long ago. Bitcoin dominance again, 53% according to CoinGecko, which means it's probably more than that. Bitcoin is trading at $67,982 again. And on a 30-day, Bitcoin is up 11.5%. Ethereum is trading at $3,300 again. And on the 30-day, it's down 2.3%. Solana is trading at $186 again. And on the 30-day, it's up 31%. 31%. XRP is trading at 59, almost 60 cents. On the 30-day, it is up 26%. Let's look a little bit at some of the Solana ecosystem assets. See what's good. What we got going on here? I'm scrolling down until I see what I think is the first one. So here's the first meme token in Solana, besides the Solana asset. It's up 13%. It's only 13% on a 30-day now. Okay, dog with hat, the meme coin. Not in the 20% or higher. Okay, so that's one not in the 20% or higher. Bonk, 21%. All right, on the 30-day. Meme coin in Solana. On the 30-day. 30 days are important. Jupiter Exchange token, up 41%. Another Solana ecosystem. So you got SOL, the token, and Jupiter Exchange, non-meme coins. Okay, 30% or higher on the 30-day. Interesting. Interesting to see the numbers. Interesting to see how this is playing out. Interesting to see that Solana ecosystem stuff seems to be doing okay. I wonder if I looked at Devour Go or Hive Mapper or Helium Mobile, I could see those numbers. I don't know. I don't know if I could. Let me do a little quick thing here. Let's see if Devour Go will come up here. Here it is. It's Devour. Token is DPay. Nope, it's down 0.3%. On the year, it's up 48%. On the 30-day, it's 59% down. Yowzers, that feels like a good, well, anyway, all-time high is 1 cent. It's at 0.002. I don't know. All right, that's DPay. Let's look at Hive Mapper, if you can see if we can find that. Hive Mapper. Honey is the token. Honey is the token. Honey is the token. What's that? What's that on the 30-day? 43% Hive Mapper. Non-meme coin. Out there in the marketplace trying to grab shares. Trying to grab market share from Google Maps. 43% on a 7-day. Not telling you guys to do any of this stuff. I'm just sharing the ecosystem of Solana. So we got the Hive Mapper, Jupiter Exchange, Solana token, 30% or higher on the 30-day. Isn't that interesting? Hive Mapper, I don't know if you would consider that a crypto play. Honey is a token. Now let's look at Helium Mobile. See if we can find that. Helium, which is getting into the Internet of Things as well, which is fascinating to me. But you got to go to Helium, HNT, Solana. On the 30 days, it's up 51%. Solana, Jupiter Exchange, Hive Mapper, Helium Mobile. Four plays in Helium in Solana, non-meme coins. 4 plays that a retail person can go in, they can buy the asset, and they can use the asset in the real world, in the crypto and outside of crypto. 4 of them. over 30% on a 30-day. Just remember this when we're going to cover we're going to cover this post from an XRP community member, probably a nice guy, who's just quite frankly, quite honestly, just getting it wrong. Just getting it wrong. Not ill-intended. He's not trying to mislead people. He's not trying to hurt people, sharing his thoughts and perspectives. I'm here to say that I think on this post, he's got it wrong. He's off. He's got it wrong. He's off. So there it is there right there. Just kind of let you know. Just some stuff. I'm not telling anybody to go and buy. I don't own any helium token. I don't own any honey tokens from Hive Mapper. I don't own any DPay from Devour Go. Just sharing the numbers. Just sharing the numbers. Oh, so look at this, man. These helium mobile folks are probably doing okay. By the way, these are probably people not in crypto. They just happen to be using a service outside of crypto that pays them if they want that stuff. They can have some HNT tokens. They could have got some. 11 cents. It got as high as $54 at one time from 11 cents. But the overall from inception pretty much to today is about 44x. I don't know. Feels kind of good from 2020. Feels kind of good, 44x, I guess, Anyway, this is something that, they can, pay this whatever, 15, 19 bucks a month or whatever it is. Get a mobile service, compete for market share with T-Mobile. See how it goes. Who knows? They might end up getting snatched up by T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon. Not really sure. But competing in the real world. In other words, people can use this stuff right here. Because everyone claims to be utility maxis. All right, let's get back to the chat. Welcome to more people into the stream. We're going to cover this post. That's not the stream. All right, so let me do this. Let me get rid of this one so we don't get confused. Let's go over here. Why did that do that? Like it was just there. Now it's not there. There it is. There it is. All right. More monkey business says Bitcoin is every one of you. More monkey business says Bitcoin is every one of you. Well, on here, we got a little. I don't know what's going on. What was that? What was that? All right. Let's go to this one. I think this one's better. Hey, Siege. XRP is the misdirection. Rodwell Obrega says XRP is the misdirection. And Gary says, LOL, you never know, Rod. Pookie's in the building. Another Blue Winter is here. How are you, my friend? What up, Siege? Life is good, Pookie. More Monkey Business says Bitcoin is a tulip mania rug pull. Ho, wow. That's heavy. Monkey Business thinks it's a rug pull. It's tulip mania. It's interesting. This is interesting. So we're going to get into this post from a guy from Swan Capitalist, I believe. We're going to get into it. I did ask a question. We'll see if he has responded. But let's get into this post, fam. Let's have a little back and forth. No need to be blocking each other and no need to whine and hide behind cancel culture. Let's see if we can have a little back and forth. Let's see if he responded. Okay, let's see here. Let's see if he responded. No, he has not responded yet. He hasn't responded yet. So let's get to the post. Let's go. Where is it? Okay. I said, what did I say the name was? Anyway, it's Black Swan Capitalist is the name of and I think that they have a YouTube channel. They do some good interviews and stuff like that as well. Rasan is the guy who posted this from Blacks. I think they had twin brothers there. So here's what we're going to go over, and we'll have a little back and forth, more monkey business about this as well. He says, people ask me this question all the time. Is Bitcoin a misdirection? And I say, of course, it's a misdirection if you take the time to think about it. Without diving too deeply into its origins, flaws, and technology, the deception becomes apparent. Okay, without diving too deeply, the deception becomes apparent. All right, so consider this. Why would the top 1% openly share their investment strategy? They wouldn't. It's because they are deceiving people. So they are deceiving people. We're going to cover who they is. We're going to cover this, all of this post. The 1% never disclose their true motivations behind their investments. Also consider that the same individuals who advocate for Bitcoin are the same people attacking the institutions that support it, presenting a clear conflict of interest. Furthermore, its origins and technology confirm to those with the ability to critically think, a skill not too common in today's world, that what I would agree with, where media shapes perception. That Bitcoin is indeed not a store of value. It is a deception perpetuated by the National Security Agency and other parties to prop up the US dollar while everyone is abandoning it, People are often too ignorant to research and grasp such complex programming to understand this. I hope this perspective helps you see through the BS. Hashtag Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana, the trap. Thank you for your time and attention. Black Swan Capitalist Rasan, thank you for having the courage to put this post out there. Hopefully it's for a little back and forth about it. Hopefully he won't hide behind Twitter police and cancel culture. If you're willing to share your views, you should be willing to defend them. And ultimately, you can always agree to disagree respectfully, right? I said, where or what is the trap in purchasing Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Solana? What is the trap here? Where's the trap? And it's interesting to see the people post underneath this, the comments. I agree with you 100%, says the Summer Glue. I can't wait to LMA. Oh, laugh my a-hole off when all the maxis finally see the truth. But it will be too late and costly. This description is not true or possible, says Max Entropy. It is likely that with a Bitcoin strategic reserve, the US debt can be resolved. More importantly, crypto tech can build out new infrastructure in the West that will stabilize local community. That's an interesting one as well. Very well expressed, says Shamal Crypto. The new system for the shift is only hidden by ignorance. How great and equalizing this new system will be, yet even this system has not been fully introduced. It's just beginning with a much greater shift in our collective consciousness. Okay, so XRP 47, I feel like I had the guy in the stream before. I feel like it. I always love how you try to make people think for themselves, yet so many fall short of doing exactly that. Thank you, Fasan. Right? Profound, 10,000%. Very well said, Fasan. David Short replied to someone on X in March of 2024 that Bitcoin could crash in 2024. He knows something. All right, so what else we got? XRP is king. Bitcoin, the biggest distraction from the biggest disruptors in financial technologies. And the biggest disruptors in this industry are all the ISO 22 certified technologies. Huh. Okay. Amazing how many people still don't understand what is happening with Bitcoin. It is transferring value from something that will soon be worthless, which is paper in the Federal Reserve note. Bitcoin will be redeemable for the new gold backed. It's a bridge. Look at a new $100 bill. Anybody got a new $100 bill on there? This guy says it's done. Anybody got a $100 bill on them? We can look at the new $100. I don't have bank accounts, so I can't. I don't have. Yeah, I can't go into a bank and get $100. 100%. Furthermore, I cannot stress this enough. How can the supposed strongest economy in the world entrust a potentially significant method of current transactions to a system where the creators are anonymous, all this kind of stuff, right? So you can kind of get a sense of people responding to the post. You can kind of get a sense of all of that, right? All right, so let's see what anybody in the chat have something to say about that. Let's go there. Why is this? So you can, oh, my screen. Oh, interesting. Meeting. Okay. Got a little, I didn't know you can do that on here. Okay, that's good to know. Anybody? What do you think about that post there? Let me know. Let me do a live. How do you pay bills and all your worth is DeFi, crypto visas? Yeah, you can use different platforms to gosh, what's the name of the one? Shit. There's a platform that you can use. They change your crypto to bill pay. Yeah, they'll change it for you. Hold on a second. Let me do something. Which I think is awesome to pay bills. I've used it several times. Why is I need to take some stuff here. Let's see. That's not it. Spritz Finance. Spritz Finance. You can use Spritz Finance. They take like 10 to 20 cryptos. You can pay your bills there. You can link your accounts up. You can pay with your USD. You can pay with your Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, whatever. I think it's about 20 coins right now. You can use. You connect your account. You connect your bills and all that, and you can pay with crypto. I used to do it with DeFi earnings, right? Earn some earnings here, earn some earnings there, earn some whatever there, and pay bills. I used to do it that way, but I'm doing a different DeFi thing now. Really working on mastering a skill of $1 a day to $100 a day. So I'm doing something different. But yeah, Spritz Finance, Spritz Finance. I like them. They do a good job. If you need a link so you can get there directly, let me know and I'll hook you up for sure. But anyway, guys, what we got going on? More monkey business. If Tesla can't get it right with electric cars, how will they get it right with Bitcoin mining? Yeah, well, got to do some real homework on Bitcoin mining. Like I highly encourage you to really dive deep into Bitcoin mining, get on ChatGPT, get on YouTube. The innovations around Bitcoin mining would blow your mind. Absolutely blow your mind. But you got to do your homework. You got to do your deep dive. I'm going to share a video today, in fact, from CEO of Marathon Digital and what the new things that they're testing out for Bitcoin mining. People don't understand what's really going underneath the surface. Like innovation is leading to innovation, right? The proof of work is an innovation. It's leading to more innovation, which is leading to more innovation. That's what's going on right now. Right now in the state of Texas, multimillionaires are buying tons and tons of land so that they can harness resources to create better innovations for Bitcoin mining. Because it's innovation that's leading to more innovation, that's leading to more innovation. The difficulty of Bitcoin mining is massively, exponentially increasing innovation in Bitcoin mining. Yeah. So of course we can do the nuclear stuff. Of course we can do the, whatever they call the water thing when you're using the water. I forget what it's called. But it's innovation that's leading to more innovation. That is one of the crucial things behind Bitcoin mining. Yeah, you really got to dig in and learn what's really going on behind Bitcoin mining. Really learn about these companies like Nostr, NOSTR, and Fetterment. Like there's all this innovation just going around this asset class that people just don't know. They just don't know what's going on. Unfortunately, they don't know what's going on. That is unfortunate. So anyway, I am going to go through this post because it's off. This post from Versan is 1000% off. Because at the worst, Bitcoin is an experiment. Well, how do I want to determine it? Bitcoin is, let me say it this way, Bitcoin is not a misdirection. It is more likely, it is more likely to be an experiment. It's more likely to be an experiment. So you have to, oh, how do I want to share this? I guess I'll have to share. I was hoping I didn't have to do it. So it is more an experiment than a misdirection. What a lot of people like, it's hard to get. It's hard to kind of wrap your brains around stuff from the three-letter agencies in this country and abroad. I would tell you that if you think about 9/11, if you think about the events of 9/11, if you think about the events around landing on the moon, if you think about the recent event of the thing, that virus that was running around, if you think about those things, that those things are the same thing that Bitcoin is. They're the exact same thing, and it's no difference. They're the same thing, right? I would make an argument, having been with the highest level of security in the United States government for 3 decades. You have, and I keep trying to tell people this all the time, you have no idea what they do and what they've been doing. Like this guy's a young kid. So ever since this dude was born, they've been doing things like this. It's the reason why they do it ultimately is for research. It's for research. It's always been that way. Always has been that way. Always. And I'm going to say something that a lot of people don't like. I don't know. Look, when you're part of the three letters, especially the main ones, maybe not the FBI, but when you're part of the main two in this country, when you're a part of that, you're always a part of that, regardless of your employ. Regardless of your employ. Unless you go rogue. Now, when you go rogue and you go to the exposing thing, forget about it. That's a different thing. You go down the Snowden route, okay? Yeah, that's a different thing. Yeah, right. So, but once you're a part, you're always a part. So people say about SHA-56 and NSA, and I say one of the people, one that we know of, was part of the NSA. The other dude, we don't know his role, but he just, and this is Jed McCaleb, he's just able to go about his business. He's able to be a part of a fraud over here, be part of a scam over there. And he can just go about his business and create another thing without so much as a notice on his door, an email to show up or to show up at some court thing. None of this. Zero nada. Zero nada. part of the XRPL as well. Part of the XRPL as well. So David Schwartz, prior NSA, this is what I say to you. Once you're part of it, you're part of it unless you go rogue. So bottom line. People just out of nowhere showed up at the doors of Ripple. Just out of nowhere. What they do, get a tip. Everybody forgets this. They just out of nowhere, they show up. Roger Vere's been detained for a while. No one's talking about it. No one's talking about it. This is, I would call this more of an experiment than a misdirection. And the experiment is always, what are the people going to do? How are they going to respond? How are they going to react? What are the people going to do? Because ultimately, what they don't want is people up in arms and rioting in streets like in other places, in other nations. They don't want that. So they want to know what it is that the people are going to do. If you and I know about what's going on with the dollar, you and I know what's going on with the great taking, and they know, right? If you and I can get our access to the great taking, they can get access to the great taking. If you and I can watch David Rogers Webb be interviewed, they've seen the interviews. If you and I know about people in North or South Dakota and or Tennessee trying to, at the local level, change the law so that they can keep their assets and not have those assets stolen from them in any event of fiscal calamity that they determine is now a calamity or national risk, then they know about it. We live our lives through their experiments. That's the reality. That is the reality. That's what goes on. That's the truth. So if you want to say it's an experiment, sure. Misdirection? Nah, it's not a misdirection. Here's why it's not a misdirection. Here's why it's not a misdirection. Because one of the reasons is if the fourth branch of the United States government got involved, and now you got Congress people in mass involved in mass, it moves from any kind of misdirection to the experiment. Because you're not going to have the fourth branch of the government, which is BlackRock. You're not, remember, if they go down, we go down, right? So if BlackRock goes down, we go down. Right? We go down. So, you know, when it comes to the misdirection stuff, they get the word. When it comes to the experiment stuff, they get the word and they know the difference. Right? And so one you can participate in and you can't get harmed, so we can't get harmed. And one is, yeah, you probably don't want to participate in this thing. That is the ugly, ugly truth. So the 1% aren't in crypto. Maybe 1% of the 1% are in. Maybe. But the 1% are not in crypto. So they're not sharing their investment stuff. They may use BlackRock to get involved, but even they aren't in yet. It's mostly retail. The big money, the 1%, aren't in ETFs. They're not in crypto. They're not in crypto. So when I see this post here, I think this is naivety, right? This is a little naive. Because if it was misdirection, there wouldn't be other assets to save yourself from the misdirection. There, why would they give you an out if they're here to harm and misdirect you? If there was a misdirection, there wouldn't be other assets. It would just be that one asset. This is an industry and an asset class, right? And it's global. And it's global, which means that anyone can get access to the other assets besides Bitcoin. So if people are leaving the dollar and they can get these other assets, why does it matter what the US is doing? But if it was only the one asset and the US created it and the US owned the majority of it with no alternatives, that would be the misdirection. Because there's no alternative. You're trying to walk away from the dollar? Oh, yeah, we got this thing too. But there are other assets with reportedly better technology that those who might be on our side can still use and still leverage because it's an industry, right? The reason why I say it's an experiment is because there are choices that we can make. There's flat out choices that you and I can make, right? I mean, we can make these choices. We can make the choices. And they're checking our choices. Facts. They're checking our choices. What are we choosing? Are we choosing ideologies over prosperity? Are we choosing technologies over other technologies? Are we choosing movements over other movements? What are we choosing? That's what they're checking, in my humble opinion. They're checking that. Like, why are people getting into crypto? What are they looking to do? Why do they prefer it over the dollar, or don't they prefer it over the dollar? If we adopted this, would the people be good with it? This is what they're doing, right? It's an experiment to see, where do you go? Where do you go? How do we keep the people to continue to trust and have faith in us? That's the experiment. What we have to do, in my opinion, as regular citizens, is figure out what the game is and how we best play the game. We got to figure out what the game is. And then how best do we play the game? What most of the people in the XRP community are doing is trying to figure out why there's a game, instead of trying to figure out what is the game. That's the biggest challenge. In my opinion, that's the biggest challenge. They're trying to figure out why there's this game, instead of trying to figure out that what the game is and how do I play it best so that I can win, so that me and my family can create wealth and possibly create generational wealth. The game is understanding that there's the debasement of the dollar and there's inflation, and that the fiat monetary system doesn't work. It's failing. It's failing, I should say. And like all other currencies, eventually it comes to an end. So the idea is, how do I prepare myself and my family in that game? How do I do that? And one of the things we all have to consider is time. Is how much time do we have to play the game so that we can win the game? How much time do we have? So when I see Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana is the trap, I see a person who doesn't understand the game at all. Now, here's what the caveat. If you're here, if you're here to create generational wealth for you and your family for generations to come, because this is finance. This is a new financial system being built. Period. DeFi is gonna become the thing. The digital asset space underlying technology. That's the new thing. So how do you win there? How do you win there? How do you win there? That's the game. And you gotta have a denominator. The denominator is the money. The money is the denominator because it's the money that they use. It's the money that these alphabet people, use to pull the lever for control. Right? So how do you win that game? You got to have more money, make better decisions about money in this new financial system. You got to make better decisions in this new financial system. Right? And so if they've, based on their research since 2009, have decided, okay, this is what I'm getting. I'm getting it that it's this Bitcoin thing. This is what I'm getting the feedback from the people. It's this Bitcoin thing. Yeah, yeah. So, okay, so it's not just people anymore. It's now nations. They're just getting the feedback, right? It's now nations now, not just regular folks. It's now nations. It's now nations. Is it the nation saying, this is what we want? Or is it the nation saying, we've been misdirected? It's the nation saying, this is what we want. This is the decision that we've made. If you understand who BlackRock really is, if you understand who they really are, and you understand who Fidelity really is, if you understand that when they say it's the largest asset under management company in the world, you got to understand what comes with that. Look into the ties with BlackRock and Sullivan and Cromwell. Like, do your homework, do your due diligence, and see the ties. When the spokesperson for that entity, BlackRock, comes out and says, if you feel like your country is debasing your currency, I think about you should own Bitcoin. This is what he said. Like, he went on he didn't have to go on national television and say that. He don't have to take the interviews. He don't have to accept the interviews. He doesn't have to be in the interviews, but he did. He doesn't have to say what he said. He's not getting up there saying stuff for no reason. He's saying it for a reason. It's for a reason. This is how they communicate. They're saying it for a reason. You got to ask yourself, what do you think about Bukele in El Salvador? You have to ask yourself this question. What do you think about Bukele, Nayib Bukele in El Salvador? Tell me what you think about that dude. His intelligence, lack thereof, his demeanor, his confidence, lack thereof. What do you think about the guy? If it's misdirection, he would be in on it. Do you feel like he's a guy that has this enamor about the US? Not to me. I think he's a guy who's tuned into the BS of the US. He's in tune to the BS of the US. Comes across to me as a guy to be able to gather some information, apply the principle of discernment, and come to a conclusion based upon his own decisions. That's what I see. This is what I see. So, experiment, more likely. Misdirection, I don't think so. But just understand this, you and I participate in their experiments all the time. So, no, I don't participate in their experiments. If you were around here for the beer cold and the virus, you participated in the experiment. You participated in the experiment. You right now have an opinion of the landing on the moon and of 9/11. You witnessed it or their presentation of it. You got some opinions, you have some thoughts around it. You participated. You participated in the beer cold, as I like to call it. If you do your homework on the alphabets, they've been doing experiments with people since their inception. It's kind of the world we live in. Kind of the world we live in. It's just, when we get closer to the truth, they keep saying, well, we're not going to turn over those files just yet. We're not going to turn over those files just yet. And everybody just thinks, oh, okay, when is breakfast? And what are we having for breakfast? The dude got assassinated. And most likely it happened from in-house, within. And they just keep, we'll put those files off for another 10 years. And we'll just put those files off for another 10 years. And we'll just put those files off for another 10 years. Just got to know the game. Got to know the game that you're playing. And do your part to do what's best for you and your family, right? If you're here to create wealth and generational wealth. Some people are not here. They're here for ideologies. They're here for an ideology. And I'm going to screw the money and the finances, the thing that they use to control me. I'm going to screw that. I'm going to have less of that so they have more control. I'm going to have less of that money so they have more control. I'm going to have less of that money so they have more control because I'm on my ideology trip. Right? So, with all due respect for Son, it's not a misdirection. It's an experiment. And the question is, how well did you do or didn't you do during the experiment? Up to this point, how well are you doing? The better you're doing, the more freedom that you have. And ultimately, it's all about freedom. Ultimately, that's what it's about. It's ultimately about freedom. Mr. XRP All In is in the building. What's going on, my guy? Oh, the lady at Crypto checked in. Keyless is here. How are you, Keyless? Hi, everyone. Siege was hoping. I did. Hi, everyone. Siege was hoping you'd get on after Trump's Bitcoin speech. Oh, that was something to watch. Yeah, yeah. I've done a couple of streams after that. Absolutely, Keyless. I haven't heard of crypto visas. I guess I have. I mean, I guess if it's has a crypto card with a Visa logo on it, yeah. Mokeman says, so far, cash has been winning. They hype up a fall and cash out every bull run. What's going on, Mokeman? Alina J says, it takes fiat to buy crypto, and when we cash out Bitcoin, we do so for fiat currency to pay bills and mortgages. Yep, some people do that. Yep. I am well, no complaints. Good to hear that, Mr. XRP All In. Flare is going to 59 cents. I hope you're right, Moke, man. I hope you are right. Yeah, I've noticed that you haven't been on the lives, Keyless. Keyless says, what? I've missed them. Yeah, I've done 2 lives and since that thing. I actually covered the Trump, not the live stream. I didn't live stream the Trump speech, but I did a video and a live stream about the Trump speech. We used the post from Balaji on X, you know, that really smart guy who can talk 900 miles per hour and intelligently do so. Guy's amazing. But yeah, so sure did. So that's kind of the deal there. And ultimately, one of the greater experiments ever is one's ability to be able to think for themselves, gather in enough information. And that's a skill, by the way. There's a skill to gathering information. One of the biggest mistakes that people make is gathering information from people who tell them what they want to hear. I experienced this in my marketing, sales team, life. Learned a lot about people there, right? Built a hugely successful marketing sales team, and you get to learn about people, right? People tend to want to go to the person who's going to confirm the thing that they're thinking or the way that they're thinking. It's only the intelligent people who will go outside of that and look to people who may differ or think differently than they do and gain that perspective. That's when you're beginning to master those skills of learning, applying the principles of discernment, right? And it's something that you just have to learn. I learned it early because I was in a situation where I'm dealing with people, so I had to learn this skill set, right? Everybody has to kind of learn that skill set, right? So I told you guys, you know, a little bit of my journey, and I said, I kept saying to myself, what is this deal with everybody keeps talking about this Bitcoin thing? Like, what's the deal with that? I was buying Bitcoin before it was $1,000, $800, $600, and Ethereum, whatever price Ethereum was at that time, right? What is this in 2022 and 2023, I began just like, what's going on with this Bitcoin? Why do they keep talking about this? What? And initially, I started with the Pomplianos of the world to help answer that question for me, the Mark Yeskos of the world to help answer that question for me. And then I thought to myself, you know, I need to go outside of crypto. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, people who were massively successful before they got into crypto. Why? Because they have a different set of lenses, right? They have a different set of lens than Anthony Pompliano, Mark Yusko, Tone Vay, Simon Dixon, you know, those guys. They have a different lens. So I started studying people who were hugely successful before they got into crypto. And I began asking them, why do you keep talking about Bitcoin? Why? And what I discovered is because they know how to create wealth and keep wealth. They know how to create wealth and to keep wealth. So they have this skill set from decades of doing this, of recognizing that this is a thing that can create wealth and I can keep the wealth with the least amount of risk. They always measure risk-adjusted returns. This is wealthy people. This is what wealthy people do. That's why gold was the thing for the wealthy for the longest of time. And they always knew, I'm not creating wealth here, right? I'm protecting wealth. I'm not creating wealth here. I'm protecting wealth. And now those kinds of people are saying, this is where I'm putting my wealth. And it used to be 3-5%. Now it's 80+% or higher for those same people in an asset. And we have to understand that it's a difference between those people and us, right? Most of us, we're trying to get to their wealth and then keep that wealth based on a risk-adjusted return basis. So, right? So what are they doing? And what can we do to get to where they are? That's kind of how I see it. So if, for example, a guy places $25 million in Bitcoin, okay, if I don't have 25 million in Bitcoin, how do I get to 25 million? What's the strategy to get to 25 million? There's a strategy there. Raoul Pal is doing the strategy. There's a strategy. He is generous enough to share the strategy, right? With the public. With the public. So you got to kind of see if you can implement the strategy. If ultimately it's about freedom, right? And just below freedom is wealth and generational wealth. You get that wealth and generational wealth, you get this freedom thing to kind of, the freedom thing is that ability to say no and the ability to say yes. That freedom, that ability to just, nah, I'm good. And the ability to say yes to whatever you want to do. No to whatever you don't want to do, and yes to whatever you do want to do. Kind of like the ultimate freedom. Right? So we got to have a denominator. The denominator is money. Why is money the denominator? Because it's the thing that controls most people's lives. And I'm not sure if anyone can argue with, except for, there's a few people who I'm not going to get involved in this. I'm just going to be, I'm just going to live off the fruit and the veggies. And I'm just going to, live with other people, and collectively we just barter amongst ourselves and we don't have to get involved in the money thing. But most people don't do that. There are a few who do that. They barter their expertise amongst themselves. And they have a little group, little congregation. This is what they do. And they share houses together, 20, 30 people, and they live, and they participate in the money thing as minimalistically as they can. But the vast majority of people don't do that. So if you're not going to do that, then you got to understand what the game is. If money is the control that they want to put over you, you got to have more money so they have less control. Right? And then you can kind of decide the things you want to do with the money. Like, ultimately, if you have your freedom, you have your freedom. If you have freedom, you can go to places where that lever is not pulled as heavily as it is in this country. I ask myself all the time, why does a 3-bedroom house in Spain rent for $900? And in the US, the same 3-bedroom house rents for $2,000. It's very odd to me because ultimately it's shelter. Ultimately, you want to shelter so it doesn't rain on you. And so did you have doors and you can lock them? Ultimately, it's shelter. Why the difference? So ultimately, it's generational wealth for you and your family. Freedom, baby. Ultimate, that's freedom, man. That's freedom. To be able to say no whenever you want and be able to say yes whenever you want. Great news on FLR. What happened? Felix, what happened? Felix says, just FYI, for those that need this, I got BNB on crypto.com via Google Pay. Via Google Pay. Huh. And there was no hold. I did a purchase on debit before, and they held my funds for 10 days. Were you able to self-custody your BNB? And how did you hook up Google Pay to BNB? I'm very curious about that. Oh, okay. Just my comments. Yeah, 59 cents. I mean, and FLR was gifted to us, by the way. Another thing that people just, I don't know, just don't understand. So if that's this now, again, if it's money and creating generational wealth, I mean, if it's wealth and creating generational wealth, if that's your thing, and inwardly, you know that the system is rigged against us, all of us, not a certain segment, not a race thing. It's all of us. The system is rigged against us by the owners of the private central banks. It's been rigged against us since 1913. If you understand that, you understand the debasement of currency, you understand all the hidden taxes and the hidden inflation, and you recognize that this is a new financial system, if you recognize that this is a new financial system, my question to you is, how are you doing in that game? How are you doing? We all have to ask ourselves, how are we doing? How well have we been playing this game? And then we got to take personal responsibility for it. How well are we doing? Because the truth of the matter is we all had an opportunity to buy Bitcoin in 2017. All of us. Every one of us had an opportunity to buy Bitcoin. How many of us did? How many of us didn't? How many of us had a plan and or a strategy? How many of us recognized what was ultimately going on? I would say that it generally takes about 5 years to figure out what's going on. In my air traffic control days, we used to say, you don't know what you don't know until about 5 years. And then after 5 years, you begin to see who you are. And at 10 years, you know what you know. You know that you know in 10 years. And it's with everything. It's in everything. So it takes about 5 years, Gary, to figure out what it is that you're in. What is it, this thing that we're doing here, crypto? What is this thing? Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Tell me you've been in this space less than 5 years and you figured it out. It takes about 5 years to figure out what's the game here. How does it work? Like, what's the rules? How does it work? How do you win and how do you lose? It takes about 5 years. So most people, promise you, in the 2017, 2018 bull run, I promise you, Keyless, 90-something% of the people never cashed out, didn't have any idea what was going on. They just got in 2017. They had no clue what was going on. Then 2020, 2021 bull run came around. But in that time frame from 2017 to 2020, where were you? Who were you listening to? What information were you gathering? What if it was only from XRP content creators and or influencers? Chances are that you primarily hold XRP, XLM, maybe some XDC, and maybe some Hedera Hashgraph, maybe. Chances are. chances are you've never participated in DeFi with any significant amount of money from 2017 to 2021. Chances are. Now, from 2021 to today, how are you doing? That's 7 years now. If you've been in the space for 7 years, there's an 80% chance right now, Keyless, that you have a strategy for an exit plan at the end of this cycle. You know what you're going to do. You know how you're going to exit. You probably have an idea what you're going to do with the money. If you've been in since 2017. If you've been in since 2020, you ain't there yet, most likely. And you just got to check, when did I get in? Did I get in 2017 or I get in 2020? If you got in 2017, it's about 85% chance that you know how you're going to exit. You have an exit strategy. If you got in 2020, you probably don't have an exit strategy yet. You probably don't fully understand what it is that you are in. So let's do a little experiment. We're going to use Into the Cryptoverse again. Keyless, Alina J. We're going to use Mokeman. We're going to use Into the Cryptoverse again to help us realize the numbers. If you said, yes, I'm here to create wealth and generational wealth for me and my family that leads to freedom. If that's you. So let's go to, that is no longer up there. So let's do this. Let's go here. Nope, let's go here. You know what? I don't even have to do that. I'll just pull up a new one and do it there again. Look at that come up like that. All right. Yeah, it's asking me to do that now. Let me see what's going on here. Am I in? I am in. All right, so let's take a look at this together. We're going to put the numbers in together because, as my mentor used to say, show me the numbers. If you know what it is that's going on, if you know what it is that you're doing, if you understand the game you're in, my mentor would say, okay, cool. You're telling me a story. I don't want to hear your story. I don't want to hear your story. It's cool, but I want to see the numbers because the numbers are going to tell the whole story about whether or not you know what it is that you hold, about what it is that you know, the game that you're in. Number one thing, know the game you're in. Right? So let's do this. Whoa, what happened there? I don't even know what happened there. That's the first time I've seen that happen. I just went full screen on you guys, and I don't know how I did that. All right, let's see. All right, I got to figure out what happened there. I got a whole full screen. I don't know how to get out of that. I wonder if I X out, what will happen? Will I end the stream? I don't want to end the stream. We'll see if that works. Did that work? All right, so I'm gonna try and share the screen. We're gonna do a little Into the Cryptoverse here and see what we can't do. All right, we got a bunch of stuff. Let's get out of that. My Zoom is on full screen now, and I don't know how to exit out of that. Oh man, it's not closing either. Options. Hmm. Well, I can't share my screen now. Oh, wait a minute. There, that might work. That might have worked. Hmm. Ah, all right. Many of us don't have the foresight, Siege. We have to search for good fruit, such as yourself, to listen to. Life is challenging, and some can't see past what's in front of them. Indeed, indeed. Well said. Well said, Miss. On an excellent, excellent, excellent point. Custom live streaming service. I can't exit out of this full screen here from Zoom, and it won't quit either. Because I want to share this with you guys. Damn it, Zoom. And I won't be able to do it. I was going to plug some numbers into the cryptoverse and share them with you guys, but my Zoom app is not cooperating at all. It's just not cooperating. I can't quit. I don't want to hide it. Show all windows. I just want to exit out of this, and it won't let me. Show all windows. All right, so Zoom workplace there. I wonder if I exit the Zoom, if it's going to kill the stream or not. Yeah, I can't do it. Anyway, I was going to track some numbers and put some numbers in there, but I can't do it, unfortunately. Because the Zoom thing is not cooperating. Like, it's not cooperating at all. That's crazy. Anyway, I'm going to put some numbers into the cryptoverse. And show you, kind of where you could be. Where could you be? Have you would have dollar cost averaged into Bitcoin and XRP. And if you would have lumped summed in, if you would have just did a lump sum, what would it look like as well? It's alarming when you look at the numbers. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it here. I'm going to go from January of 2017. Let's see here. Let's do January of 2017. Let's do 2017, January 1st, 2017, till today. Well, see, yeah, I mean, it's the 29th of June already. So, I mean, of July already. So we could do, this got July 13th. Let's do, Let's do July 29th. Will that work? That will work. All right. I'm going to do DCA strategy of $200 a month. Is that fair? Let's do $100. $100 a month on a monthly basis from January 1st, 2017 to July 29th of 2024. I'm gonna have to share the numbers with you because the Zoom is screwing over. I can't do the Zoom. That's from 2017. Dollar cost average strategy. Interesting numbers. You would have invested for 91 months, which is $9,100. You would have earned $79,612 in Bitcoin. This is from 2017. I mean, we have to start somewhere. We can't go back to 2013. You know, there's a few people. There's one XRP entertaining content creator who had the choice from 2013. Pretty blessed choice. Pretty blessed. I don't know. Pretty blessed choice to be involved in 2013. So anyway, yeah, Bitcoin would have returned a 7x, 774%, and you would have earned $79,612. XRP, you would have earned $37,310. I did a post about this and I said that, you know, you had three choices in 2017. You could have bought Bitcoin, A. You could have bought XRP, B. You could have bought both, C. Because that is a money-making decision. It's a money-making decision. Not ideology, not technology, not fees. It's a money decision, right? Bitcoin would have served you better, but if you had both, you would have been good. Dollar cost average strategy of $100 each. $100 each. I don't know. I don't know if it, I mean, I don't know. That's on $100 a month, if that's all you had. The numbers are the numbers. $200 obviously would have been more, but that's just a dollar cost average strategy that anyone can do. That anyone can do. 91 months, 79,000. You would have $79,000 today. Today's prices, 79,000, which is, gosh, I don't know. That's a Bitcoin. You would have a whole Bitcoin. You would be a whole Bitcoiner. Interestingly enough. Interestingly enough. That's just a DCA strategy of $100. What if you did 200? The numbers would be what they are. A lump sum thing would be a little different. And I'm going to do $1,000. Yeah, $1,000. You would have had 94,000 in Bitcoin and XRP. Wow. And think about this one. If you did $1,000 lump sum, XRP performed better than Bitcoin. Interestingly enough. Let me see. I got the dates right. Yep. 17th till today. It's 1,000 because you're making one payment of $1,000. XRP would have returned you more money. $94,000, 93x, 9,369% X. Bitcoin would have returned you 70,000. If you put 1,000 in each, you'd have 160 something thousand dollars from a one-time payment of $1,000 in Bitcoin and in XRP. It's just interesting. And my point to it is you have an opportunity to purchase them all. You don't have to choose one. What's important is the strategy. Do you have a strategy? Yeah, I can't share my screen, unfortunately, Keyless. I can't share it because my Zoom thing is screwed up. Yeah, my Zoom thing is, unfortunately, it's not working. Let me see something here. Do this. But you see me do the dollar cost average strategy before. Love the tool. Absolutely love the tool. Now my Zoom is not even coming up at all. Where it is? Oh, here it is. I can't minimize this Zoom screen in order to be able to share with you guys what I got going on. It's not exiting. It's not doing any of that. Unfortunately, I did something with this freaking Mac mouse and it is in full screen and I can't exit out of it. So I can't share because I can't see my share thing to share with you guys. So you're gonna have to take my word for it because I can't do anything else to share it. But my point to it is Bitcoin, ETH, and Solana is a trap. It's misleading. I know if I throw Solana numbers in there, they're probably going to be better. Let me throw Solana numbers in. This is my point to, if you know the game, it's just a matter of winning in the game, right? If you know the game. So Solana, $1,000 would have given you 212,000, more than XRP. If you're fortunate enough to put 1,000 of each, it'd have been cool. But $1,000 in Solana would have netted you $212,215, a 2,100 and 121% gain. To this point, which means you would have been early to Solana. And you invested from the beginning of Solana. Because Solana didn't come out till later, right? 2020 maybe? But those are the numbers. And you can't argue the numbers because the numbers tell a whole story. What people are trying to do is rationalize. Well, it's meme coins. It's majority of meme coins. You know, it's broken 3 or 4 times. All this stuff. And they're forgetting why they're here. Are we here to win the argument of the better technologies? Or are we here to create generational wealth for ourselves and our family to get freedom? I mean, like, why are we? Ultimately, why are we here? $1,000 play in the Solana would have netted you to date $212,000. And again, Solana came out in 2020, I think it was 2020 or 2022, something like that. Not very long. Hasn't been out very long. I showed you on CoinGecko when I was able to share. You know, the ecosystem plays in Solana and how well they're doing. Well, CoinGecko has the earliest, that can't be right, 2024, let's do max. Earliest listing on CoinGecko is in 2020, April of 2020. $1,000 in 2020 would net you $200,000 today. If you bought it and you held it. Again, it's, do you know the game you're in? Do you know the game you're in? So yeah, I wish I could share the screen. I'll do it on another live stream, but the stream, the Zoom thing messed up. And I can't share. It's kind of screwy. The only thing I would possibly be able to do is to kill the stream and then have the stream re-stream. Would probably be the only thing that I could try and do. But still, I can't get rid of it. I would have to turn everything off. But if you guys want to see the screen and you're going to come back after everything turns off, that'd be cool. But it would turn off for sure. I'll do it on another stream. I'll share on another stream. I'll share the numbers before. But ultimately, my point is you got to know the game that you're in. And why are you here? Why are you here? Some people, it's this thing about trying to say, I own the asset with the best technology. It's a thing for some people. I own the asset with the best technology. And I joke and say, I have a pretty looking wallet. There's nothing in it, but it's pretty. And for me, it's just that simple. Know the game. I'm here to create wealth and generational wealth for me and my family, which would lead to a level of freedom. That's why I'm here. I'm not here to become a maxi. I'm not here to, be part of a cult or any of that. I'm here to create wealth for me and my family and hopefully generational wealth. That's why I'm here. That's why we're here. It's a new financial system. I want to be able to participate in it and take advantage of what's going on and ultimately do good with the wealth that's created, right? Well, for us, it's starting a foundation for inner city youth and baseball in New York. Miss Crypto Seas has her things that she wants to do as well. But that's why we're here, right? Obviously, we got to be able to do some good with the wealth that we create, but ultimately, we're trying to get some freedom and get that foot off of our throat. That is the debasement of the currency, right? Massive inflation, money printing, all these things. So we found the system, this new financial system. The question is, how are we participating in this new financial system? We all have to ask ourselves, how are we doing? Like we all got to ask ourselves that question. By the way, that Into the Cryptoverse tool under DCA strategies is free to use. I'm going to put the link in here. No, I can't do that because you won't be able to see it. But it's free to use. It's intothecryptoverse.com. Or just probably go to intothecryptoverse.com and then go to the app. Lump sum DCA cost dynamic DCA in STD. Let's see, that's a lump sum one. That's pay plus a pay plan. So, right? I don't know. And we all kind of ask ourselves, do we understand the game? How are we doing? Are we willing to ask ourselves, let's take a look together, you and your spouse, you and your significant other one, let's take a look at the numbers and see, how we're doing, how we could have done if we did a DCA strategy or a lump sum strategy. And then look to employ or deploy one of those strategies or both of the strategies, because it's going to be another 7 years that passes Keyless, right? Alex G, it's going to be another 7 years. It's going to pass. And we got to say, how are we doing in it? I like the DCA because everyone can participate at $102. I got Little Miss Crypto C's DCAing right now. She's DCAing. It's a first principle thing. It's really investing and saving, isn't it? Not spending it, it's investing and saving. All right. I already told 10 years from now, we're going to take a look at it and see how you're doing. 10 years from now, we're going to take a look at the numbers. Why? Because the numbers tell us the whole story. The numbers tell us the whole story. All right. So I'm going to hop off here because I can't share. I wish I could. So I want to be able to get some stuff done. Oh, thank you, Keyless. Keyless says she's lucky to have you as a dad to guide her. Thank you, Keyless. I appreciate that. Right? Numbers tell us the whole story. So I encourage you to gain some perspectives of people outside your inner circle. My mentor was really, he would just be raw, right? Like, who are you listening to? he would say, look, the thousandaires are probably really good people. I'm sure they're nice people. But who would you rather listen to? Whose lifestyle would you like? So anyway, it's about gaining the perspective. I encourage you to, figure that stuff out for yourself. I recommend Raul Paul, Gary Cardone, Dan Tapiero, Anthony Scaramucci. I recommend people who made their wealth outside prior to crypto. See how they think. Find out what it is that they're doing. Gain a better perspective. Gary Cardone has a YouTube channel. Raul Paul has something called Raul Paul, the Journeyman YouTube channel. Highly recommend you check it out. Just kind of gain different perspectives. Don't be that person who only wants to get the view that they want to see. So they go seeking out people who think just like them. I encourage you to consider going outside of the XRP bubble. You're going to run through Pomp. You're going to run through Mark Yusko. Yeah, run through those videos, see what they're thinking. But ultimately, go outside of that and get to some people who established some wealth before they got into crypto and figure out how they think and why they think that way. They're here. They got YouTube channels. They're trying to give back. These are people with $50 to $500 million net worths, exits, right? 50 million here, 400, 500 million there. See what they're thinking. See how they're thinking. See if it makes sense to you. It's not about picking an asset. By the way, this experiment, we have a choice. We don't have to just own one asset and then follow that ideology and then follow that thinking and become all absorbed in that. We don't have to do that. We can put money into whatever we choose. We can put money into Bitcoin on a DCA strategy, and the XRP is a DCA strategy, into Solana as a DCA strategy. But why? You got to know why you would do that. Why would you do it? What does the numbers say? What is the ROI net year-over-year return on Solana? Do you know? Do you know what it is for Ethereum? Do you know what it is for Bitcoin? The information's out there, and people are sharing the numbers. Because the ROI, year-over-year return on Solana, is different than what it is for Cardano. So do we want to get into a debate about the better technology? Or do we want to take the numbers to improve our financial situation? The numbers for Solana are better than the numbers for Cardano. The numbers for Maker are better than the numbers for Cardano. Right? So if you make $100,000, what asset in an asset? $100,000, right? And let's say you put it all, no. Yeah. $100,000 in a particular asset, and you hold that asset. What's going to be the year-over-year return for the asset? You cash out $1,000, you make $101,000, you cash out $1,000. What's going to be the year-over-year return? For Bitcoin, it's 50%. Year-over-year return, 50%. Some say 40, 50%. For Ethereum, it's about 101%. For Solana, it's about 250 to 300% year-over-year return since 2020. In other words, if you bought that asset and you held it, and I get it, you're going to take some off the table, you're going to a little bit of a lifestyle, but whatever you end up with, year-over-year return is about 250 to 300%. No one told Cardano not to participate in that. No one told Polygon, Hedera Hashgraph, or Algorand. I've checked all those numbers. No one said to that ecosystem, yeah, don't participate in netting 3-figure percentage gains returns for your holders. No one told them not to do it. They just didn't do it. They just didn't return those kind of numbers. Algorand didn't return those kind of numbers. Hedera Hashgraph didn't return those kind of numbers. It's no one's fault. It is what it is. But my point is, once you know the numbers, what are you going to do about it? Yeah. So just a little context. I was responsible for security, aviation security for God knows how many decades for, for those buildings and stuff in DC. So here it is, fam. Thank you so much for hanging out, Keyless and Gary, Alina J. I appreciate you checking in, my friend. And thank you. I appreciate your wisdom. I don't have an inner circle, but enjoy listening to you. Thank you, Alina. I appreciate that. Keyless, the Gary, I appreciate you guys checking in. Moke Man and Mr. XRP, I appreciate you guys checking in. JR from Texas, I appreciate you checking in, my guy. Legendary Rodwell Nobrega, the OGs in the building. I appreciate you guys checking in. Thanks, Gary was first in the building. How about that? I'm going to end this live stream like I do all my live stream, guys, and remind you guys of this. Old money doesn't want you to win. But that's okay, though, because you and we're already winning. And I would ask you to consider this, perhaps ponder the idea or notion of living your life permissionless. I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya.